Hello, everyone. This is TTP Chats, aka Trust the Process here. Today, we're going to be discussing about accountability, which is severely lacking among this day and age in this world we live in today currently. See, in the modern age, the levels of accountability has drastically declined. Nobody want to want to be accountable for their actions. Nobody want to take responsibility for their action. Everybody either want to blame other people for what they're doing, even though they have nothing to do with your decision making as an adult, or everybody else want to play plausible deniability, or better yet, everybody just wants to, try to play, the sympathetic card of, try to play the weasel their way out of trouble. But the reality is, once you hit adulthood, once you hit a certain age, like around 18 or up, your frontal cortex is fully functional and operating, unless you're on the spectrum or something. But with that being said, once you hit adult, you know right from wrong. You know what's the difference between good and bad. You know the right choice and the wrong choice. You know what you should do. You are in charge and you are the agent of your own life. So however life, whatever path you want to walk down on, that's completely on you. And you should have the self-awareness to take accountability of your actions for what you've done. That's what accountability is. It's being responsible for your own action as an adult. If you're a little kid or whatever, you're kind of expected, but at the same time, you should have a mentor, parents, or a parental figure to teach you the right things to do, right? And even if, even people going to say, what if you have bad parents, tough upbringing, all the other stuff. At the end of the day, once you reach adulthood, once you reach 18 and up, guess what? It doesn't matter what happened in in the past with your kid, right? It just doesn't matter what the actions you take. So if you go out there and commit crimes and do the wrong things when you're 18 and up, guess what? People are going to have some sympathy towards you, or you might have been raised. But there's people out there who was raised in an environment that wasn't so kind to a young kid or whatever, that wasn't so particularly nice to a young kid. But then you still have people who came from those type of situations and still came out to be nothing but good, law-abiding citizens who actually contributes positively to society, right? So the excuse of, had a heart, at the end of the day, when you reach a certain age, when you reach adulthood, it comes with a certain expectation. You know right from wrong. Even if you came from a situation, when you're adult, you should have the conscious mind and the cognitive thinking that, if I do this, there's going to be effects. There are going to be results for my actions. There are going to be consequences for my action if it's a negative choice, if it's a bad choice. And if it's a positive choice, it's going to be a positive outcome. And I should take responsibility for the decisions that I make because I am an adult, right? That's what being an adult, a mature, responsible adult, is all about: taking responsibility for your actions. Yes, you're going to make mistakes. Yes, you're going to make certain errors, because we're not perfect, right? I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. We're all people. We're going to make some flaws. But it's our mind okay to take ownership of our mistakes as an adult, learn from them, and do better next time, correct our mistakes in the future. That is what accountability is, and that's sorely lacking because people are looking for a quote-unquote scapegoat in order to, try to justify their actions, which is sometimes not unjustifiable. But for example, the Raja Jackson situation, everybody said, "Oh, there's a kid he's 25 years old, right? He knows right from wrong, and he should accept the consequences of his actions and do what's right, and take his consequences as punishment like a man." That's the reality of the situation. You can blame Rampage or whatever, but at the end of the day, when you become an adult, when you become 18, right, or in certain cases, according to biblical times, you, as a man, you become a man when you're 13, according to the, biblical text. But when you become a certain age, you got to take responsibility for your action. You can't sit here and blame everybody else forever, because it lacks self-awareness, So that's why accountability, and for men, accountability is very important, because we are looked at as the leaders of the world, right? We're the captains of the ship, right? If the ship takes a wrong direction and hit an iceberg or something, we gotta sit back and say, "Hey, we messed up. Maybe we should have did a better job of steering the ship in the proper direction." We can't sit here and blame nobody else for our mistakes, right? We can't sit here and blame everybody else for the lack of, leadership qualities. When we are the leaders, we're supposed to lead them into prosperity, right? That's the job of real men, right? And as a man, right, you should always be accountable for whatever you do. Even if the relationship goes south, hey, the chick cheated, let's say the chick did you dirty or whatever. I take the accountability. I probably shouldn't have got with her. Hey, I take it's my fault. I asked for the phone number. I didn't know I didn't properly vet out or look into what type of woman this is, because if I actually did more of my, due diligence, and sometimes stuff happens, but hey, at the same time, I take the blame as a man because I asked for the phone number. If I didn't ask for the phone, I wouldn't got into a relationship with a woman who potentially cheated on me. That just is what it is, right? It takes two to tango. But the accountability has been sorely lacking, and people need to speak more about it, and people need to advocate more about people taking accountability, especially in this modern age where people running around doing all of this BS, this nonsense, and then act like they're innocent and want to blame the problems on all these different things. Oh, mental health, or my parenting, or whatever. Yeah, okay, cool, sir. Look, mental health is a serious situation. It's a serious topic. At the same time, you can't, just because you do something completely wrong, you can't just over here blame somebody or try to justify it with, oh yeah, mental health problem. At the same time, you got to learn that as an adult, you got to take responsibility for your own actions, because you are the agent of your own life, right? God lays the foundation for you. He gives you life, right? He has a plan, but it's up to you to follow his plan. It's up to you to seek out the Lord and help you with your journey. And if you want to make your own decision, hey, we all been blessed with freedom of choice. So you do what you got to do. But at the same time, whatever choice you make, remember, as an adult and as a young, mature person, as a mature person in general, you take responsibility for it.